I'm trying to figure out what the heck I just saw. That brought me back to like Game of Thrones red wedding type of teas. Like, oh man. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna start off talking about the obvious. I'm gonna actually leave that for the end because there's so much that happened within this episode that we're gonna start off with. Let's start off with Emmett. I feel like I've been starting the last couple reviews off with Keisha. Let's start off with Emmett. So Emmett is trying to pretend like the situation with him and Dominique didn't happen. He's avoiding having to tell Tiffany about it. And just like his mom said, Tiffany's gonna find out. Something's gonna end up leaked out and she's gonna find out. And Dom is feeling some type of way because I don't know, I guess she thought she got in Emma's head, even though she was trying her best to convince herself that she wasn't all into him like that. But clearly she is. Clearly she got a piece and can't stop thinking about it either. So the fact that she's just like feeling kind of salty about him getting engaged, yeah. She's going to start some mess somewhere down the line. I'm pretty sure we're not going to end this season without that blow up coming together. But, you know, whatever. I really think that Emmett is going to... He's going to lose everything. Again, like I said in previous videos, he's not trying to think about other people's feelings. He's only worried about himself and his succession. Proposing to Tiffany wasn't necessarily out of love. It was more out of guilt and trying to find a way to make himself feel better about what he has done to her and what he's done to her just recently. Like, he's not really changing or growing or bringing anything significant at this point. He's plateauing. And it's going to end up being everything kind of coming to an end. So it's going to be sad to see all of Emmett's effort only for him to end up with absolutely nothing at the end. But I think that's a part of his character arc because he has to grow. You know, he's trying too hard to be like his dad. And his dad ain't got nothing to show for his actions. And he's been married several times. And he got all these kids, some of which he took care of them, some of which he didn't. And Emmett's going to be the same way because you see him taking care of or being with Tiffany and her baby, but you don't see him putting in that same kind of effort with the other two children. We don't even see the other two kids. We only see one other child that he had with the one girl from the baby shower. I don't even remember her name. You don't see him with his other kid at all. I just know he has 3 children because I remember that from like season 1. But when have you seen like him gather all 3 of his kids? He's not ready to be married and he's not ready to settle down, and he's just going to ruin everybody's life in the midst of all of that. So that's kind of predictable. You know, wasn't expecting too much more from Emmett. We can go into Keisha from him, and Keisha, those panic attacks, I can admit to having panic attacks on and off throughout my life, and I know how bad that feels. And then finding out that she is in fact pregnant really just, it was the icing on the cake. I kind of figured we were going to go in that direction, but I don't know exactly what she's feeling because at this point in her life, she might feel like she doesn't have anything else. You know what I'm saying? She can't go to school. She's not running like she used to. She's not experiencing joy like she used to. And maybe she thinks having this baby will bring her some type of joy. I have seen several stories or scenarios where rape victims have kept their children just because, you know, you don't want to blame the child for something that you didn't necessarily have anything to do with, and neither did the baby. It's like, how do you take a child's life? You know, for some people it's really hard, especially since she doesn't have anything else to hold on to, you know. So I think the initial shock was that I want to get rid of it. What can we do? But now she's starting to look into, what if I wanted to be a mom? Like, what if I wanted to go that route? And I think that's going to be interesting to see, because if she does decide to keep the baby, I want to know how it's going to affect her mom and her wife or her stepmom, because they're trying so hard just to keep Keisha focused, and then they're going to have to add a baby into the mix. And there's already a strain on Keisha and Kevin's relationship at this point. So I don't know. She might not keep the baby. with everything that happened with Ronnie, she might feel obligated to keep the baby. So we'll see what it brings up in the future. I just know I can identify with Keisha's feeling of panic, loss, and just trying to find out who she is and where she fits in. And maybe she's starting to think that motherhood is where I fit in at this point. Maybe that's some part of me that I need to explore, because the things that I used to do are no longer serving me. So we'll see. I told you guys how I felt about Dre in last week's episode. It's starting to really see it. You're starting to really see it. Dre is a fixer. She is somebody who is a counselor. She always wants to be able to be helpful and to help mold the people around her. And then in this episode, she admits it. So the reason why she was pushing so hard for everybody to go to counseling or get it together or try harder or just all of that wasn't because she was doing anything negative or anything harsh or anything like that. It was because she wants to fix it. She's trying to hurry up and get everything back to normal so everybody around her that she cares about can be happy again. I don't think she's a bad person, like, at all. But she definitely is somebody who wants to see the people she care about doing great. And so she took on essentially this project of this woman, this broken woman, her family who was broken. Even before the Keisha thing happened, the family wasn't really tight-knit like that. They were broken. And now it's even more so because Keisha has been through this traumatic thing, and now she has to learn how to be, how to redefine herself and be a whole new person. So Dre's trying to be that catalyst that keeps everybody together, that keeps everybody uplifted, and gets the progress of each person's life going. And it makes her look unsympathetic, but that's not her case. Her case is that she's just trying to fix everything, and that's not possible. So I don't think we are dealing with somebody who actually set Keisha up. I think we're dealing with somebody who really just wants the best for everybody around her, and that's where we are right now. You got Kevin, which we really didn't spend a whole lot of time with him per se outside of his relationship with Keisha. You can see he's annoyed with the fact that Keisha is kind of withdrawn and she's not saying much and she's not doing much, but at the same time he keeps showing up, like following her all the way to the store. He's like, I'm not about to let anything happen to you. He doesn't know what he's feeling. He's angry, like I said in the last episode. He's angry, he's hurt, he's sad. He feels like there was more he could do, but he doesn't know how to react because he wishes everything could just go back to normal, but it's not normal. It's Keisha dealing with the fact that she had this traumatic event. And so he's starting to really see that after having that conversation with Emmett and then running with his sister and her honestly admitting, I'm scared, then seeing her have that panic attack. I think he's really starting to understand that he can't force what he wants out of Keisha as far as her recovery and being back to what he's used to her being like. He's gonna have to just be there for her and accept when she's like off and on, just in this time frame. And it's gonna be hard. It's not gonna be an easy fix, but I really think that if he starts to really see what she's going through, he'll feel more accepting and more open to the struggle that she has right now. And he right now doesn't know that she is pregnant. We'll see what his reaction will be when he does find out about the situation, especially if she decides to go the route of keeping the baby. I'm trying to go over as many people as possible before I get to the main event. I'm trying to bring my calm down so that when I get to the main event, I'm not like over the top. But there's really nobody else in this story that kind of had its own arc except for Ronnie. So now we're at Ronnie. We started off with Ronnie in season 1 as we really didn't know what to make of him. Like, even after he did shoot Coogie, you didn't think that he was purposely trying to do that. You knew that wasn't his plan, that wasn't his purpose. But the fact of the matter is he killed a teenage boy, whether by accident or on purpose. Throughout the rest of the seasons, we see him take it or have issues with that truth. Like, he went to prison for a little while, not for long, which this is where kind of like the plot holes come into it, because he did go to jail. He got out on a technicality, and then we never heard anything else about him being investigated again or anything like that. And I could be wrong. I could not understand exactly what that technicality is that got him out. Like if it was a situation where they had to drop all the charges. But the fact that they took the police officers completely out of this season kind of throws a wrench in that story thread, because if it's not a technicality where he was completely free and they had to drop all charges, then it was a situation where something that the police officer didn't work in that instance, but he could find another way to bring Ronnie to justice. And if that's the case, then why isn't that happening, or why hasn't that happened? So we get to see Ronnie go through this transition. When we first meet him, we don't know what to think about him. And then in that very first episode, he kills this teenage boy. Then after that, you see him go up and down between, just trying to understand what's going on, just trying to fill out what's going on. And then his descent into madness, his drinking, his behavior, and his erratic behavior, and all of these things. He got shot by Kevin because of everything he did and the hate that was going on for him around the city. And way back then, it would have made sense to kill him, but I guess not really, because then it would have been typical. We would have expected if somebody just seek revenge for him. The fact that they waited until he redeemed himself, till he fought hard to do better, to be better, to show love and compassion, to even apologize for the life he took and ask for reconciliation for it. It was so disappointing to see him die. It was so disappointing. It was shocking. Like I said, it pretty much gave me red wedding type of tease. Like, you knew that Rob was gonna get his comeuppance for what he did, but to see him die and his whole family die and his mom die the way they did, it really just messed you up. Well, that's what happened with Ronnie. This boy, we don't even know who this kid is. Was this Coogie's friend? Was this some random dude that was just angry because this guy got away with murder? I don't know. I don't remember this person at all. And all I know is I did not expect that. I did not want to see Ronnie die. I wanted to see him redeemed. But I guess if you want to think about it like that, he served his purpose. He was redeemed and he was called back home. That's the best I can do, because I was not expecting this. Did not want to see it at all. And what's even worse is to get this video together, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch and clip things together and re-see that, and it sucks. But with everything we do in life, there is a consequence. And unfortunately, the mistake that Ronnie made in the beginning of this series, there is a consequence to his action, and his actions were detrimental to somebody else's life. And even though he saved a life, it doesn't necessarily mean that his debt is paid. And that's what we essentially saw in this last episode, that everything, it has consequences. And unfortunately, what he did to this young man, he took a life, and to some degree karma came back around for him when he thought he was on a rise, on a better path. That was hard to watch. You know what? I got so into talking about Ronnie that I skipped over Jake and Victor. So we see Victor and Jake together, and we see Jake is at a point where he's just tired. He doesn't trust Duda anymore. He knows that he killed his brother, his other brother, and that he can't be trusted. We still don't know what he found in that safe. It could be anything. I actually have a friend who has a theory that he believes that Otis's character is related to the Omari character, and that he has this mom who's mentally unstable, this brother who was mentally unstable and might be responsible for kidnapping Keisha, and then he's trying to, of course, run for mayor, not to mention all his drug ties and all that other stuff. So this is one friend's theory. I don't know if we're going to go that full circle, but if we do, that'll be kind of interesting. But honestly, I just think that I still don't think that Jake is going to end up with Victor, because Victor is talking about leaving the Shy altogether and going somewhere else. So I don't think that Jake is willing to do that at this point. So I don't think he's going to end up with Victor. But I did say in my last video that Jake and the girlfriend, or the wife, Jake and the wife are going to be the ones that take Otis down. And I knew that was going to happen. Now we'll see what she ends up doing, because Otis has just been very disrespectful to her and not letting her help with his campaign. And I think she wanted revenge too. So that's why she went ahead and gave Jake that combination. But I knew it was going to be the two of them somehow taking Otis down, because Otis disrespected them both in so many ways. It just doesn't make sense not to. So we see that Victor is still having trouble with the 63rd Street mob and them trying to plant drugs on him and everything like that. But I thought they would honestly try to kill him. We haven't really seen Imani in like the last 3 episodes actually. So I'm wondering where she's gonna pop back in. I still stick to my theory that she might not make it through this season, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we do have them coming together to try to take down Duda. I just really don't think we're gonna see Jake go off with Victor. I just really don't. But, let's see what happens. Whatever this information is that they got on Otis is going to be very, very interesting. And I knew that was going to be something that was going to help Camille win overall at the end of the day. And then, of course, we got poor Kevin trying to get Gemma's attention, because now her dad knows that he was coming after, that they were about to have sex, and so he's monitoring her texts and her calls and everything, and that's kind of funny. But yeah, no, outside of that, I mean, this was a really good episode. It did subvert expectations. It was shocking. I don't know if any of you predicted that Ronnie was going to end up dead. I know I surely didn't. I thought he was just going to leave, and that's what I saw happening. But apparently he did leave, just not the way I thought he would. And if he hadn't stayed with old girl, which I can't remember her name either, because she pops in and out. She was more prominent in season 1, a little less in season 2, and then she was like in and out of season 3. So I honestly don't remember her name. But Jason's mother, if he had left right when he was supposed to, instead of going out to lunch with her, he could have still been alive. But I mean, everything we do has a purpose, yeah. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Did you like this episode? Were you shocked to see Ronnie die? Do you think Emmett and Tiffany are going to make it for the long haul? Or do you see her finding out and it all crumbling down for Emmett going forward? Let me know what you think in the comments. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you for another video. Bye.